Here we go. Step 1. Our goal is so that it will look like the equation on the bottom. Because we just told me that if it looks like that, you're relatively comfortable at extracting the A, H, and K and plugging it into formulas and graphing. So step 1, move the 18 to the right. Step 2, we have to factor out the leading coefficient out of the first two terms, not including the 18. Okay? It has to be taken out. If there is no leading coefficient, you skip that step. So our first two steps have been move the constant and factor out the leading coefficient. Okay, the 18 is a safe distance away, and then we take the leading coefficient out of both terms. If we distributed it back in, we would get what's above it, 3x squared plus 6x. Okay. Next step, we're going to be adding something in the parentheses. Okay? And what we're going to be doing is we're going to be doing something that completes the square. What are we adding? Something that I call half of the b term squared. The b term is the coefficient of x. In this case, that's 2. So we're going to take half of 2, which is 1, and square it, 1, and you're going to add that inside the parentheses. Okay? That half of the b term squared is painted on the wall under the air conditioner. That's what you're adding in the parentheses when completing the square. Okay? But you can't just add something to half one side of an equation. You either have to add it to the other side, which I don't want to do because that left side looks really good being just y, or subtract it from the same side. If I'm going to add 1 to the right side, I'll just take 1 away from that side. But it's not really a 1. What I added to that right side isn't a 1. What is it really? No. What is it? It's really a 3.
Oh,
because if I distribute that 3 through the parentheses, that exposes the 1 for what it really is.
Oh,
so what I'm going to subtract out by the 18 is 3. You add the 1 inside the parentheses, but that's not what it really is. You have to kind of figure out what it really is by looking at that leading coefficient. And whatever it really is, you subtract that value from outside. Okay? That's tricky. That takes practice. Okay? And the final step of our problem, we're going to factor. And here's how it works. You're going to break this down into the letter. Pay attention to it. Look at it. That letter. That sign. And half of that number squared. And then do 18 minus 3. And then what you should notice is they're the same. We have our form that we need. A times x minus h squared plus k. So then now we could graph it and come up with all the pieces based on that. It is of crucial importance that you are able to complete the square, because it's going to happen every day of the chapter from now till test day. So this process right here, you need to practice. If you choose to ignore it, you will fail the test.